It's time for Real Talk with Brian and Dan, the weekly talk radio show dedicated to discussing important real estate topics, plus insight into the local community. With a combined experience of over 50 years as local real estate brokers from the Eastside Real Estate team at Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. Here's your hosts, Brian Levitt and Dan Edwards.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. I think every time the sun shines on our show because I think, wasn't last week pretty sunny?
Sunny is gorgeous.
It was fantastic. Yeah. We are glad you're listening to us today. In addition to listening to us on the radio, you can also watch us live streaming on YouTube. You can just simply Google 1150 KKNW or go to the YouTube and type that in. So it's not the same as Googling it. You can also listen not only to this on online on YouTube. You can also listen to past episodes at Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. And additionally, we have broadcasts of these videos that are on our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com. And we would love for you to watch, subscribe, follow, and share. Please do share. If you find some of this content being interesting, please share that with your friends, families, or anybody that would find this content riveting. Maybe riveting might be a little much.
Go back, watch the old stuff, the classics.
There's some good classics. So I'm really excited today. We have a couple of fantastic guests. Wow. Okay, Google. There goes Google again. Jedediah Collins, of Rookie to Veteran, and Dylan Foggett with Brink Property Management. Google is talking to me while I'm trying to do this intro. Sorry, guys. Before we get to our guests today, though, we always have time for Real Talk. So in today's Real Talk segment, we're talking about how to generate wild interest in your home when you go on the market.
Right. And
how do we do that?
First and foremost is preparation. Prior proper planning prevents poor performance.
Prior proper
planning prevents really poor performance.
Really poor performance.
Yeah. And so laying out the plan, and that's what Dan and I do, go through step by step to have the home completely ready. Reasoning is buyers, every buyer tells me they can visualize. I haven't met more than one or two yet in the last several thousand.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's okay, but people like to buy the cream puff, the home that's really nice. And you think about it, most of us are so very busy. When do you have time to go in and do the updates? So when we talk to our sellers, we talk about is we're not going to trade dollars. We're not going to spend $1 to get $1.
Right.
We're going to spend $1 to get multiples of that dollar by having the home the very best that it can be.
Yeah, and when you think about preparation, it's every fine detail, and our team handles this from making sure that we have an inspection done in advance, making sure that we find any issues that could be associated with that inspection that would cause a future transaction to fall out, repair those, disclose everything else. We work with the repairs, so coordinate. Gabby does that. She goes ahead and coordinates everything so that we get all the things together, ready to go on time. Photography, house cleaning, staging. There's a lot of stuff that goes into preparation.
Right.
If you just throw it on the market, you're going to probably see fewer offers.
Well, and a lot of it is we're mitigating risk. We're taking and eliminating, like, for example, the reason for the whole house inspection is to get any repair items done that need to be done.
Right.
I may know, for example, a specific job might be a $500 repair. Most buyers are going to assume it's several thousand
more
dollars.
than that. Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing is we're managing risk. We're eliminating risk for the buyer. So the seller takes responsibility for that by getting it done, and then they get the reward. So it's a risk-reward relationship.
It certainly is. And then the other thing, once we've prepared, is kind of timing it for the market. Now, one thing we all know, whether it's stock market or the housing market, you can't time the market, but you can maximize your time on the market. So what do we do for that, Brian?
I think a lot of it is our market knowledge. Dan and I are constantly networking with other brokers about their activity, about the number of offers they're receiving on their property. So we typically time it so that once everything is done and ready to go, that's the prior preparation, we hit the market at a time to have all of our advertising, our marketing saturated to reach everybody on the planet. I mean, that's, thank goodness for the internet. We're able to do that. But professional photography, presenting the home in its very best light. The first weekend on the market is open houses, ideally. It's not required, but we encourage it. And then an offer review time a few days later that allows buyers to go through, review the inspection, to know everything they know about the property to make their highest and best offer.
Yeah, our preference is to try and list on a Wednesday. That allows us to get all of the marketing syndicated out because some websites take a few days, some take are instant. So it depends. But also wanting to make sure the postcards go out, making sure that we're able to call around the neighborhoods and promote the property, and also ensure that that we're able to really fully explore and market that property in any way, shape, or form we can.
And by limiting the risk on the buyer's part, for example, having that inspection done up front, buyers are able to make offers that are not contingent on inspection.
Right.
And so our goal is to have an offer on the table that we can sign around and be in contract, not going back and forth for a second round of negotiations with inspection or with anything else. And then the other big aspect of negotiations is giving buyers a choice. I think old school real estate is everybody just works in the dark. You make your offer, you cross your fingers, where I find that working with adults, people like choices. And so we ask our sellers permission to discuss the offers that are on the table with all the buyers, giving each of them an opportunity to increase their offer in this competitive market.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you think about what we'll do is we'll receive offers in the morning, and then we'll reach out to the agents and say, your client is number 2 of 5 or number 3 of 5. Here are some suggestions. That's really where we make our money, right? Because that negotiation, that ability to get people to kind of come back, I think it's a win-win for buyers and sellers alike.
A lot of times it's a process for Dan and I to educate the other brokers on how to do this. But what they find is that their brokers, rather than feeling like they're being caught in a bidding war, they have control. They have a choice. If they don't get the house, it's not a surprise. It was a choice that they deliberately made. And it sounds funny, but people feel better about it.
Right.
So it's creating a bidding process that each buyer has a degree of control in.
Yeah, I think it's important for the listeners to know that it's not just price that we're negotiating on. When we're talking negotiations, it's terms and conditions, it's the ability to close, the ability to communicate, the inspection process, other contingencies. It's really super important.
Like during that process, Dan and I are vetting the buyer. Do they actually have the ability to close? If they say it's a cash transaction, we verify that cash. And verify their financing, verify that they're being forthright with us.
Yep. All right. So essentially, if you're thinking about getting your home on the market, understand that there's a process there. It starts with preparation. You got to think about your timing. And then at the end of the day, you want a team that can negotiate really strongly for you. And if that's you, if you're thinking about it here in this coming spring season, you can call us at 425-200-4093 or reach out to us on the eastsiderealestateteam.com's website. All right. That concludes our Real Talk segment. If you're interested in this and other topics that we've covered, go to the eastsiderealestateteam.com and go to our blog. Like I said, if you want to talk to us directly, give us a call. Thanks for listening. Next up, we're going to be speaking with Wes, who is standing in, Wes Graham, for our Mortgage Moment segment, and he is with Washington First Mortgage. So come on back after the break for some more Real Talk.